Welcome back to the den. I'm Tobin. Episode 2, How I Lather. Real briefly, I'm new to the content game, right? A little over a year. I'm not happy with the way that I approached episode 1, How I Lather CK6. What I want to do moving forward is I want to do it exactly the way that I do it in a video when I'm doing an actual shave review. And then that way I can have that in the description and send new wet shavers or people that are new to the base to that video. It will also save me from having to explain it during the shave, right? And I can just do like what I normally do. A lot of times I don't discuss lathering it, and especially my outdoor shave videos. So when I'm all done with this series, I'll probably redo CK6. I ended up talking to 2 different people that had asked me about CK6, and after getting some of their feedback, I really think that that's how I'm going to approach it moving forward. So that's how I'm going to approach it here today with First Line Shaves 3.0 and 3.1, known as FLS 3 and FLS 3.1. We're going to mostly focus on 3.0, and for that I'll be using Crossroads. The only difference between 3.1 and 3.0 is 3.1 has 3 additions. Everything's the same except for 3 additions. Excuse me, I just finished having lunch. Honey, mango butter, and slippery elm bark. Everything that is in this is in 3.1 with the addition of honey, mango butter, and slippery elm bark. In theory, it should still lather the same. I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. First, let me get to lathering this up. And then while I lather it, I'll also discuss 3.1. And then for those who want to stick around, I'll have some news about 3.1. And yeah, so let's get this going. I'm going to change the camera angles again so that you can see down inside the bowl. So let me stop it real quick, and I'll see you in a moment. Focusing mostly on 3.0. That's what we're going to lather now. Crossroads 3.0. There's my previous scoops, my Smiles for Miles scooper. I'm going to try and use about the same amount that I would use for a shave. I always use a fairly generous amount. It's not a lot, but it's not a little compared to what some guys might shave with. Now that I have it in the bowl, I want to use just a scotch more. It's kind of folded over on itself. I'm looking in the camera like I did previously, into the monitor, making sure that I somewhat stay out of the way. We'll smash this down just a little bit more. I have a wet brush. Decided to use my Frank's G5 this time because it's black, and I hope that you guys will be able to see it. And I know that a lot of people have the G5 knot. This is the bulb, and it's in my wet shaving store handle. So a little bit of water in there. You can see it just fell out, right? Yep. I'm gonna do 3 squirts to start. 1, 2, 3. Once again, for good measure, the only difference between 3 and 3.1 is the new base has the addition of honey, mango butter, and slippery elm bark. In theory, you will lather 3.1 the same way as 3. I've been timing this. I've done a couple of shaves with it in the last week or so. About 4 minutes is roughly, and then look at my timer. Okay, so about 4 minutes is how long it's been taking me to work up a good lather with this. Now, typically, I'd spend probably 2/3 of that time working the lather up in the bowl, and then the rest of it I would do on the face. Here today, we will just do all of it in the bowl. And so I will work the lather, add water, work the lather, add water. like Kodiak from Murphy and McNeil, and a handful of other bases that I can think of, this is one of those bases that require a little bit of patience, a little bit of work, but what you are rewarded with is a luxurious, yogurty-like texture that is just a killer performer. I love Origins. I was gifted the soap and the 3.1 base and the splash. I love it so much that I bought the balm, the beard oil, and the EDP. I've only had this a few months. The fragrance has only been out like 5 months. I use it all the time. Michael Riley, the artisan behind First Line Shave, Michael's beard oil is as good or better than any on the market today, in my opinion. And I use beard products virtually every day. A combination of butters, balms, oils, and waxes. Looking at my timer, got probably just a little over 2 minutes. It's starting to get to where we want it. Hopefully you guys can see the bristles splay out when I splay them. Something I do too, guys, is every now and then I spin the brush in my hand so that I'm not constantly working the exact same fibers. And then I'm always trying to mix up the way that I'm stirring as well. This should help with overall longevity of the health of the knot. Let's add a couple more squirts of water. Might be the last time that we need to add water. If you add too much water, you'll get a bunch of bubbles, and that's okay. You'll just have to work it, and the bubbles will go away. Now for 3.1, when Origins first came out, it was the very first fragrance to have the 3.1 base. I've been talking with Michael. Something that I noticed, a couple months ago, so when I first got Origins, I whipped it up for my first impression video and got a great lather. And then, don't quote me, I try to do a minimum of 3 to 5 shaves, especially with a new base. I aim for like 5. But I try to do like 3 to 5 shaves before doing my full review video. And I did that, I don't recall exactly how many, with Origins. And just like in my full shave review that I did in the Siskiyou National Forest over by the Oregon coast, I got an amazing lather. This is never going to be an exploding lather like CK6. All these lathers are going to behave differently, and the FLS base is not going to be a big pillowy lather. However, what you're seeing here in the bowl is the kind of lather that I was getting with the 3.1. When I revisited it a couple months back, I noticed that I wasn't able to get a very good lather, and I thought maybe it was just my technique and I didn't really pay any mind to it. The other day I used this again and I didn't get a very good lather, and I didn't use any pre-shave or anything like that. Yesterday and today I've been playing with the 3.0 and the 3.1. Yesterday I lathered the 3.1 twice, and both times I was unable to get a good lather. The lather that I was creating with this looks just like what I'm going to put on the screen with the photos there. I've almost got this where I want it. It's more of a slurry. I contacted Michael Riley at First Line Shave. I was talking with him, and there was an issue with the release of this that we're just now discovering. In the fragrance, there's an essential oil that is killing the lather, and it's the kind of killing of lather that is like killing me softly, killing me slowly, to where it doesn't kill it right away. The longer it sits, the more damage it does. And so that's why if you bought your soap around the time that it released, chances are you were able to get a good lather. If it sat on the shelf for a couple of months before you made the purchase, it may not have. You know, mine was fresh, right? I got mine before the general public did. I got a pre-release review kind of thing from Michael, my first ever one, and I still appreciate it so much, Michael. Thank you so much for entrusting me with your product. I can't say enough good things about this, you guys. I love it. I mean, I'd bathe in this stuff. So I'm happy with what I got right there. Now, I got my Hawaiian soap bowl. This is a very creamy, yogurty texture that you're going to get with Michael's 3 and 3.1 base. You're not going to get the big pillows of fluffiness, which is, a lot of guys like. But you are going to get this beautiful lather that I have right here with 3.1. If you purchased it, I want you, and so does Michael, I want you to contact Michael. In the description, I will, of course, have a link to his website. The way that I communicate with Michael Riley is through Instagram direct message. So if you have an Instagram account, there'll be a link to his in there. Just in case you don't have it, I'm going to put it in there too. Reach out to Michael. And I'd say, if you can, and it's easy enough for you, send him a picture of your origins. He's not asking for that. I'm just suggesting that. And let him know, that you got one of the bases that Tobin's talking about. And he's well aware of it. And he's offering refunds and or replacements to anyone seeking one. Currently, he is not making any more origins. And that's because, look at all that, of the fragrance. I didn't ask him, exactly what it is that is killing it, but there's something, one of the essential oils is killing the lather. This is plenty wet enough that I'd be able to get 3 passes. So let me pause it real quick. How much time are we at? 10 minutes? Okay, let me pause it real quick, and then in just a couple of minutes time, I'll try and show you what I've been doing with origins, because getting a replacement isn't going to be easy. All right, so I've already tested this a couple of times, but because I'm getting low on the amount of origins I have, and as of right now, it's not replaceable. He had talked about there might be an opportunity that he can get a more premium blend, if you will, of essential oils, of fragrance oils, to do origins again. And I told him I'd happily, pay a premium price to get it, because I love this fragrance. I mean, the splash and the soap was given to me, but I love it so much that I bought the balm, the beard oil, which I've been using, and I'm actually having it in my beard right now today, and the EDP. Like, I love it. And I didn't say it earlier, but just in case you don't know, it's an homage to Parfum de Marly's Carlisle. So something that I do and have done twice now to create a killer lather with it. I did it yesterday and I did it again today. Take any lather booster. For me, that's going to be the Cube from Phoenix Shaving. And you just take it and rub it around on the bottom of your bowl before you put the soap in. Very first thing you do, rub it. Get a nice thin coating. Doesn't have to be crazy thick. The first time I did it, I didn't do a lot. And the second time I did it, I did a little bit more just to see what would happen. And so that's all I did, was I just took it and I rubbed it around just for a few seconds, rub it around, get a nice coating. You'll be able to see it on there. Then if you're a scooper like me, put your soap on top of it and lather like I just did with the 3.0. If you load from the bowl, that's fine too. because you can also, have it in there. And if you want to even, double it up more, you could put your um, lather booster in the bottom of the bowl, apply the lather booster to your face, and then, hit it. Or you just, hit the tub, do your lather booster on your face, and then it should explode, because the soap, it's still going to be slick. It's still going to have all the, the skin foods in it that you want it to have. Just the only thing it doesn't have is that poof of lather. It just, what's the word for it? It doesn't expand, right? So I hope this helps. I hope I did better this time than I did with the first one. And maybe I'm just being too critical. But how I just lathered that Crossroads is how I lather 3.0. And when I get my next tub of 3.1, that is how it will lather. 3.1, moving forward past Origins, you can buy it with confidence, knowing that it's going to lather like 3. The good thing is Michael is aware of it. And he's already taken steps and measures to correct it. Real quick, something I've said before in previous videos, I've talked to people, throughout my life, and they'll talk highly of different things. Good example, car insurance or life insurance, and they'll tell you, or even, medical, dental, and they'll tell you how great their insurance is. But then I've gotten to talking with some of these people. I'm a transit operator by trade and have been for like 20 years. So I talk to people about cars and trucks, right? Quite a bit. And you get to talking with them, and oftentimes you'll find out that they've never used it, but they're speaking so well of it. And I have found in my own life, whether it's a restaurant that you go to 100 times and have a good experience, and then that 101st time you go there and you order a steak, but they bring you a hamburger, and then they order with you or argue with you that you ordered the hamburger, and you're like, no, I ordered the steak. And the people at the table, in your party with you, are like, yeah, he ordered the steak. And then they argue with you. All of a sudden, over something so stupid, you just all of a sudden have thrown out the previous 100 interactions. And so it's not so much our successes that define us and make us who we are, but it's how we handle our failures and our missteps and mistakes that define us. And so I like this opportunity because it speaks more to Michael and who he is as not only a person, but as an artisan. And that moving forward, I know even more so now that I can buy with confidence from Michael, because I have seen how he has handled himself and his business in adversity. If you've bought, forget where I said it, Origins, reach out to him. He wants to offer you a refund or replacement. Now, like I said, don't count on a replacement of Origins at this time, but contact him, work something out. Thank you, Michael. Thank you guys for watching. It's the little big things, and a big little thing is being a man of character. And Michael, through this one thing, I tip my hat. I'll remind you guys again, First Line Shave is called First Line Shave for a reason. Every purchase helps Backstoppers. That is a nonprofit organization that helps first line responders. Michael has a day job. His soap business is a hobby of his. It's not his breadwinner. His breadwinner is he is a first line responder. I'll let you talk to him about that. First line responders are typically firefighters, paramedics, cops, nurses, that type of deal. So that is how Michael makes his living, is off of his day job as a first responder. Okay. Thank you, Michael, for your service to your community, and to this community, to your local community, and to this wet shaving community. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. It's the little big things, big, little, figure it out. I got to figure it out. Hey, I love you a long time. If you're still watching, thanks for sticking around. Ramble, 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 ramble.